This edition of the Cowboys Report is made possible by 8 Sleep. Improve your sleeping and thus your entire health and your outlook on life by using the 8 Sleep pod cover. $200 off when you go to 8sleep.com/chatsports. Today's show, we take a look at some Cowboys trade ideas and rumors that are out there. Most, but not all, coming from Bleacher Report with some interesting theories involved. Before we get into it, will the Dallas Cowboys make a trade this year? 1 for yes, they will. 0 for no, they will not. They made 2 last year, Cooks and Gilmore. Will there be another one? Get those predictions in for me in the comments section. The first trade idea comes to us here from Bleacher Report. The Cowboys get Treylon Burks, the former first-round pick out of Arkansas, in exchange for Michael Gallup and a 2025 third-round pick. Now, this is at least somewhat interesting idea given the names involved. Gallup, who I know many of us no longer want on this with this organization, and a former first-rounder in Burks. And again, I know a lot of us want Gallup gone, and I get that. I do not blame anyone because I want him gone too. He has not lived up to the contract really at all. It's been a pretty big disappointment. I would also say I think he has 0 trade value. I don't know who would want to take on Michael Gallup at this stage. In fact, I think he might have negative trade value. I think assuming you want to take on Gallup's deal, which at minimum is going to pay him nearly $10 million for a season, you're not going to get great return on your investment. Here is the Gallup contract if he is traded. The new team would owe him $9.5 this year, $11.5 each of the next 2 seasons. That's not that bad if he were actually productive. I will also make note, $4 million of his 2024 salary, that's the $9.5 million figure, or close to it, is guaranteed on 3/17. Injury guaranteed right now, so you would be minimum paying the 9.5 basically. Dallas would save $800K by trading him now. No dead money 2025, 2026. To me, what this trade really comes down to is you're just dumping Gallup, whatever. You're trading a future third-round pick for Treylon Burks. And first-round pick investment, I know a lot of us, including myself, like coming out of Arkansas, honestly hasn't been very good in his time in Tennessee. Quarterback play a factor there. He's had issues. He's had production issues. He's had injury issues. So back to the trade. We'll go more in depth on the Burks angle here momentarily. Would you do this trade? Burks to Dallas, Gallup, and a future 3 to Tennessee. Y for yes, N for no. Get those answers in for me at the pinned comment of today's video. If the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there. Let me know. The reality is that so far, Treylon Burks has been a bust. He has not been the type of player I thought he was going to be, and that Tennessee has needed him to be. In 2 years, boy, the production's bad. 11 games played in each of the past 2 seasons. He had 16 catches for 221 yards. That's terrible. He has been worse than Michael Gallup has been over the past 2 years. He was a former first-rounder. The presumed talent is still in there somewhere. But Jalen Tolbert has been more productive. If we're going to trade a third-round pick, I think we should be viewing the talent level as a third-round pick. I already have one of those who's been more productive this past year. So for me, no deal. No deal for a future 3. I think that's a little bit too much value to give up for someone that you're really banking on being a completely different player than what he's unfortunately been so far in the NFL. If I get him for a 5, okay, you can have that conversation at that point. But for a 3, in a receiver class, both this year, next year, in motion that's very, very strong, I'd rather keep that pick. Today's show is made possible by 8 Sleep. It is the high-tech solution to your age-old sleeping issues. Maybe you have a partner who snores. I'm now talking on behalf of my wife. Maybe you just don't fall asleep easily. Maybe you have a tough time staying asleep through the night. You might not know this, but sleep science shows in order to sleep our best, Our body temperature needs to drop in the early and middle part of sleep and then rise in the morning. The 8 Sleep Pod cover will improve your sleep by automatically adjusting your bed's temperature based on your individual needs. And the cover can be fitted to any bed like a sheet and allows you and your partner to cool or warm your side of the bed by as low as 55 degrees and up to 110 degrees. There's no better way to improve your day-to-day life than by getting better sleep. It's so important to us. The easiest way to do that is the 8 Sleep Pod 3. So start the new year right and invest in the rest you deserve with the 8 Sleep Pod. Go to 8sleep.com/chatsports and get $200 off plus free shipping on the pod cover by 8 Sleep. On average, folks, pod users see their sleep quality improve by 32% after just a month on the pod. And that's the average, which means it could be a lot higher for you. Links in the comments and the description of today's show. That's 8sleep.com/chatsports. The second trade idea from Bleacher Report. I'll hold my tongue for now and explain it first. Cowboys get a fifth-round pick this year and a fifth-round pick next year in exchange for Brandin Cooks. So we're doing the Amari Cooper trade again. It's actually more than what you got for Amari Cooper, by the way. Yeah. Isn't that something? Let's trade away your second-best wide receiver by a pretty massive margin for a pair of day 3 picks in a class this year, by the way, that isn't that good on day 3. I will let Bleacher Report explain themselves in a minute, but we will have plenty of NFL free agency, draft, and I think better trade ideas than Bleacher Report here on the channel. So if you haven't already, hit that sub button and make sure you guys are subscribed. YouTube.com/@CowboysTV. Here is the argument in favor of trading Brandin Cooks from Bleacher Report. Could be one of the Cowboys' top trade targets. They'd save $4 million against the salary cap by trading away the veteran, and they paid a minimal draft cost for him last offseason anyway. Thanks, I hate it. $4 million. Okay. That doesn't do anything for me. Why am I getting worse? If I were rebuilding, okay, sure, you can trade away the veteran wide receiver. Why am I dumping my second-best wide receiver for pennies? The one fast guy I have at wide receiver. I trade away Brandin Cooks. I have to immediately spend a better pick on a wide receiver because now I don't have enough pieces. I'm going to start Treylon Burks? No. This is a terrible idea. So type your F's in the chat for an awful, terrible, horrible, no good, trash idea from Bleacher Report. Spam the F for me in the comments section. Not done cooking yet, or at least ranting and pretending I'm cooking. NFL rooms. We've talked about them before. This is what they tweeted out on January 31st, saying many people believe teams cannot land the quarterback they want in the NFL draft. Former Niners Trey Lance will be an option at 23 years old. Many front office people think he still has a high ceiling, just needs more snaps. Let me be clear. This account makes shit up. In fact, I know for a fact that there are people out there that NFL rooms will DM asking for information, and they will get fake info back from them, and NFL rooms will send out as real information. And they will get tricked because they just make stuff up. There is no NFL exec or whatever that told them that information. This is we're going to throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. The many people, it's their imaginary friends. That's who told them that. I do think you will hear plenty of speculative, well, maybe Trey Lance gets traded conversation. I would be very surprised if there would be an actual trade of Trey Lance this year. He is the same age or younger than many prospects this year. He's younger than Bo Nix is. Let that sink in for a second. He went for a 4th-round pick the last time he got traded. His value has not gone up. If you are lucky, you get a 4th-round pick back for him because that's what you gave up to get him. That was the market last time. What do you do this season? Learn the new offense. This offseason for Trey Lance is about being the backup in Dallas. It is about beating Cooper Rush, having a strong offseason and preseason and showing I can be the quarterback too, and down the line, maybe I get a better contract from somebody else, maybe I get a trade package for myself, maybe I get a contract that installs me as a viable backup NFL QB. I'd be pretty shocked if a trade happened. I would be. Even if you extend Dak, which was the Cowboys' plan initially when they traded for Lance in the first place. So with that in mind, pick a backup quarterback. TL for Trey Lance, CR for Cooper Rush.